Hi, my name is Yashvi and today we will explore topic gender bias in elementary schools. When people are treated differently because of their gender, this is known as discrimination based on gender. Robert L. and Wells highlight that early exposure to gender bias can have long-lasting effects on child self-esteem and academic achievement. In the past, Canadian schools reinforced gender stereotypes by encouraging females to study humanities and boys to pursue STEM. In Ontario, in 1990s, only 18% of girls pursued advanced maths and physics. According to Kucha and Bouchard, this is still persistent, particularly in Saskatchewan and Alberta. Women only make up to 23% of Canadians working in scientific tech fields, although accounting for 34% of STEM degree holders. This underrepresentation emphasizes how educational practices need to improve. This can be removed by gender-inclusive curriculum and teacher preparation programs. Career choices are impacted for a long time by gender bias in early education. According to UNESCO report, girls who encounter racism in STEM are 35% less likely to choose working in science and engineering, and boys who receive less reading assistance are 30% less likely to develop proficient readers. Gender bias does not exist in isolation, it intersects with race and culture. Punjabi Sikh professors from British Columbia are essential. They not only teach non-Punjabi students about cultural norms but also advance greater equality. Their efforts contribute to development of a more inclusive school climate. Sikh scholars such as Nikki Gurinder Kaur Singh questions patriarchal interpretations of Sikhism and addresses topics such as gender selection. They promote gender equality both inside and outside of classroom by teaching to advocate society with greater equality. In schools with Sikh teachers, there has been a noticeable shift towards more inclusive teaching practices. Schools in Surrey, BC saw a 35% reduction in gender-biased stereotypes when Sikh educators actively involved themselves in gender-inclusive initiatives. Gender bias in primary schools is reinforced through social construct. Lauber argues that norms shape classroom expectation, while Bourdieu's theories suggest schools perpetuate these biases. Critical theorists view them as systematic shaping future based on gendered expectations. Teachers frequently unintentionally encourage boys to assume leadership roles and girls to provide care, perpetuating gender norms that influence students' academic decisions and career goals. Children's potential is limited by such expectation both in classroom and job. Harmful gendered behaviors like boys acting aggressively towards girls and being written off as play can be normalized in early education. According to Peroleta's research, this early bias can lead to a more significant problems including gender discrimination and sexual violence. The contribution of women and people of different gender identities are frequently underrepresented in traditional curriculum. Only 22% of characters in STEM textbooks published in Canada are female, which reinforce antiquated gender norms. Emphasizing and integrating diverse role models into curriculum helps students challenge stereotypes and counter-react these biases. This involves adding various role models such as civil rights pioneer Voila Desmond and Canada's first female astronaut Dr. Roberta Bondar. Students can become more conscious of inequality by using teaching strategies like group project and class discussions. Students who participate more in social justice conversations are more inclined to confront discriminatory practices according to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Addressing gender bias in education requires a united effort among teachers to foster inclusivity from the earliest stage of learning. In British Columbia, educators actively incorporate gender equality in subjects like maths and science, ensuring all students feel valued and supported. Building a truly inclusive education system requires more than just classroom efforts. It demands institutional commitments, such as enforcing anti-discriminatory laws, Research by Taylor shows that it has a significant reduction in bullying and creating safer and more inclusive learning environment. Educational institutions must provide resources like counseling services and safe places where students can freely explore their gender identity. The Canadian government reinforces these efforts through frameworks like Gender Bias Analysis Plus, which has policies for both gender and intersectionality. British Columbia, where inclusive policies support gender-diverse students, Alberta and New Brunswick have implemented laws requiring parental consent for students under 15 to change their gender pronouns. These restrictions create significant challenges for teachers who want to make inclusive learning environments. In order for teaching in places like Alberta and New Brunswick, teachers must negotiate competing regulations. This can affect gender-diverse students' experience and the quality of education, underscoring the need for a more standardized approach as per Canada's physical and health education. In conclusion, to promote gender inclusivity, professional growth is essential. In 2020, Mayer and Pullen said instructors who are trained in intersectionality, gender awareness, and implicit bias are better able to dispel preconceptions and advance equality in classroom.